Hey guys, this week we're going to work through two relatively basic tricks. Both of them have got options to extend and both of them are really good. Chase! Lie down. Really good for warm-up exercises and general strengthening. Okay, so the first one we're going to work through is just turning in the circle. So I call it spin and twist. A lot of agility people call it left and right because that's how they actually start to teach a left and a right directional cue for dogs. Pick something that you can remember. I always really struggle. Every time I give this cue I have to sit and think, is her head turning to the left? Is her head turning to the right? Some people will just teach one spin. Teaching multiple spins is a really good thing for strengthening and flexibility and just to help them have a little bit more fun. So spins and twists, use whatever is fun for your dog and you're just going to basically turn them. Get it. Out. Steady. Are you steady? Go left. Go left. Get it. There's a good girl. Out. The right. Yes, get it. Out. So you can see I'm giving her cue as she's turning, so it should be one cue for every circle. The next step is doing this a lot, so repeating the circles a lot, and then trying to get it on stimulus control in that they only give you left or right, or spin and twist, when you ask for it. The really hard step, which we're still working through at the moment, is actually getting them to tell apart, is it left or is it right? So we'll see how she's going with this. Are you ready? Are you steady? Are you ready? Left. Yes! Good girlie. Go left. Oh, loser! Left. Yes! Go left. Left. Good! That's a good girl. Are you ready? Left. Yay! Good girlie. Are you ready? Right. Yay! That's a good girl. Oh, I dropped it. Are you ready? Right. Oops, loser. Are you ready? Right. Yes! Good girl. Are you ready? Right. Yes! Right. Right. Good girl. That's a clever girl. Drop. Most of the time when you do a left and a right or a spin and a twist, they fall into a pattern of one way and then the other, or one way and then the other. That's a mistake I made with Brody. So you can see with Chase when I'm testing whether she actually knows the left and the right properly. I'm not going left and right, I'm mixing it up a little bit. And she's almost there. So simple. So you can see that the lure turned into a hand signal, Chase. Good girlie. And we were adding the vocal cue to the hand signal while we were asking for it. And then we can take the hand signal away. So lure with the vocal cue at the same time. Turn that lure into a hand signal with the vocal cue at the same time. Then to start to remove the hand signal and just get it on the vocal command. For extending the trick, you can put the spin and the twist in with other exercises. It's a super, super fun way to increase some motivation for distance control. Right, loser, come back. Right, yes, good girl, come back. Left, yes, good girlie. Drop. So just mixing it up with some of your distance control cues because most dogs, especially border collies, love the movement and most dogs really love the spins and the twists. I'm pretty sure some of the higher obedience trainers, like if you go into the Kamal seminar, will mix up some of these tricks in with their distance control work to get really enthusiastic distance control that the dog enjoys instead of being stressed out. Like you do see quite a few dogs stressed out of doing distance control. Another option for extending spin and a twist. Is to give the dogs a surface for their feet to stay on and then ask for the tricks. Just be careful that you choose a surface your dog is comfortable with and they're not going to slip. Let's go left. Yes, good girl. Good. Go left. Good girl. Right. Oh, you fell off. Right. Good girlie. Okay. Go. So you can see I'm only rewarding her because she's already got really high value for her lefts and her rights. I'm only rewarding her on that object when she stays on the object. Taking it up a notch, if your dog, only do this if your dog has had some experience with peanut balls or Swiss balls or other things like that. This is something we'll look at the advanced tricks, just doing some work on a peanut ball or a Swiss ball or something like that. If you don't have one, a really good alternative is an air cushion. Just it builds up the stability in their core muscles. So see, left, good girlie. Oh, that's right. Yay, good girl. What a good girl. Okay. Cool, so next trick that I want to work through with you is, I call it gym squats. It's really just in addition to perch work. This is one of the things I think made the biggest difference when Chase was struggling with the rear end control she needed to be successful in the weaves. What was happening was she was driving really fast in, and she understood what she had to do to weave, but she couldn't control her rear end well enough, and she kept popping out of the weaves. This is also an excellent exercise for a dog that is struggling with left turns and obedience, crooked sits, distance control, good sits, tucking their rear end under. So you don't have to have a fancy box like this, one that I've stolen from my friend Emily. You could use a phone book that's taped up with duct tape or some other wrap to give it some grip, a piece of wood with a little bit of non-slip surface taped to the top. There are heaps of different things that you could use. You could use the aerobic step that I used earlier for Chase when she was doing her spin and her twist. Okay, so the first step is getting your dog comfortable with putting the front paws on whatever you're using. So all I do is stare at it like it's the most exciting thing in the world. Don't give any cues. Let go of the dog, and as soon as they show interest in the step, good. Then they get rewarded for it. Obviously she understands this, so it's very hard to show. She's had a lot of rewards for her front feet being on the box. It's really hard to show the early steps because she already does a lot of it. So she's got front feet on the box, and she'll stay on there until she's released. Okay, good girlie. And then up on the box again. See, she's had such high value for staying on the box. She really enjoys it. So once they're comfortable with front feet on the box, and you can do a little bit of movement around the box as well, just so they're comfortable with you in any position. You can see she's already done some perch work with pivoting. So first thing you can do with the box with having a play is get them pivoting. So I generally stand in front of them and turn. Good girl. So she gets rewarded for sliding into heel. This way. Oh, cheetah. Good. So you can see how that's going to help with left turns. Ready? Good girlie. Although, this way. Good. Good girlie. You can see with Chase, she's stronger in one direction than the other, and that's just because I haven't been as even with my work in one direction to the other. So you have to remember, if you do it one way, to do it the other way, even if you're only doing obedience, because you want to keep their muscles balanced. You don't want them to be really strong on one side as opposed to the other, and they'll get unbalanced and not be able to move as well. Cool, so puppy gym squats. The main thing that we're looking for is getting the dog to sit with the feet on a perch. Oh, Liza, come here. Good girlie. So if I move her sideways a little bit, so the dogs will naturally stand. What you need to do is, with front feet on the perch, hold their reward not too far away, but not too close to them. You can hold it up high and ask for a sit. Good girlie. Most of the time when the dogs sit the first few times, their feet will slip back off the box because it's actually physically really, really difficult for them to sit. So when you watch Chase, you'll notice that, good girl, stand. You'll notice that her rear end and her pelvis is tucking under. Sit. Good. instead of just sitting backwards. So that's the advantage of using the perch to put their feet on the front ends. They have to tuck their pelvis under instead of just sitting backwards. So see, if she sits back, she has to work hard to keep her front feet on the perch. So good. If we keep her front feet nice and steady on the perch, she has to tuck her rear end under. It's going to strengthen a whole different set of muscles. So once you're comfortable with the SIT, you're a good girl, then you can work in the stand. If you don't have a stand on cue, super easy. Good girlie. A little nose touch, up and forwards, and it's going to pull them up out of their sit. And this is actually how I got a stand on vocal cue. So this is a really excellent way to teach a stand. Oh, loser. Stand. Sit. Good girlie. Stand. Good. The good thing with teaching this type of stand is you get a really nice kick-back stand. Sit. Good. Stand. Good girl. Front feet still, back feet kicked out. Perfect for obedience distance control because they're going to keep their front feet stable. So teaching a really nice butt tucking in sit and a kickback stand is going to help lots with your distance control for obedience. And then what you can actually do is raise the height of the platform. When it's a little bit higher, it's going to work the muscles a lot harder to get that nice pelvis tucking in sit. Sit. Good. Stand. Good. Sit. Good. Stand. We're not doing the same prayers. Sit. Good. Stand. Stand. Good. Sit. Oh, cute. Sit. Good. Stand. Stand. Good. Cool. The only thing you need to be careful of is when you're doing your sits and your stands, your gym squats, you actually don't want to lift them too high because they physically won't be able to. So no higher than their shoulders. Have fun. I look forward to seeing your videos. Cool. We'll see you next week.